Well, this is gonna be a long video because I will be trying to provide the most data possible, and also the customer concern, what I have done, and it's gonna be a long video, but I think it's gonna be a good lesson for everybody to learn. I want to share with you guys this because I have been struggling with this issue for about 6 years, and it bothers me. I can't fix this. I cannot prove it. Well, this is the 2001 Chevy Silverado with the misfire. Okay, a little bit of history about it. We have been fighting this misfire for about 6 or 7 years probably. So what happened is this truck, my brother bought this truck from the auction, and when he bought the truck, they gave him the truck with small inspection. And he said on the test drive, he called me and said, hey, the checking light came on. And I said, okay, what could be? And I said, well, could be, who knows, if that has a checking light. I said it had catalytic converter issues, could be expensive or whatever, and he told the guy, he said, no, it's something simple. It's cam position sensor, I think. And I told my brother, have him go and scan it someplace. So they took it to a place, and when he called me because he went to LA, and we live here by San Francisco area. So he went to LA to buy this truck because it was cheap, and it was low mileage, good condition, 120,000 miles on it. So I told him, have them scan those and send me the codes. And he told me the checking light was flashing while test driving. I said, oh, that's a misfire. And he sent me the codes, and the code was a P0300, and also for a cam position sensor circuit fault. And I said, well, it could be because of the cam position sensor, we can have a misfire, but no, I'm not sure. So I told him he maybe get something, terrible here, or who knows. So he decided to buy it, When I got the truck was with all the monitor run and complete when he got here, and we were having code for P0300, like all Chevys, they do that. And also I checked, when I checked the misfire data, I saw there a cylinder 1 and 4 misfiring constantly, like only about 900 RPM, not idle, but a 900 RPM to about 2800, like about, I think they stopped monitoring after that speed, because they don't want too much crank variation, and they don't want to monitor that after that. And then okay, and he had other code for air injection system. I replaced the check valves, and those codes disappeared. And also I think that was it at that moment. Okay, so I started fighting that. And I have been working on this Chevy for a long time, so I was like, oh, okay, let me check here. I saw the knob, the cam retarder pin, and I saw that one was like 14 degrees, and I was like, oh, okay, that should be close to 0. 3 plus or minus is, the little window they give us for still be good. And this is not adjustable, so we cannot go to the distributor and adjust it. So I was like, okay, let me see it. So this one may be a worn distributor, and it could be probably, like something easy. So since I started first day troubleshooting this truck, I only have been using good parts, because I only use good parts and AC Delco or Delphi. But the AC Delco, they have 2 lines: AC Delco normal and AC Delco professional. I use the AC Delco professional on this. So I removed the distributor, and I have a video of that one, I will put it down there. And the distributor was worn with the TS, and I thought, oh, I got it. That one was easy, Install a new distributor, and nothing changed. The same thing. Misfire there, same condition, same thing. 1 and 4 only. I was like, okay, what will be the next step? So at this point, I had a new cap on it. I know this vehicle, the cap, the distributor cap failed a lot because internal, they get together, the spark in between 2 cylinders and cheap plastic, and it happened a lot, So I did 2 channels on the secondary ignition, the 1 and 4, they should be on separate timing when they fire. So if for some reason the cap, inside the cap, the spark is jumping, they should go together, but it never happened on this. So I knew it wasn't the cap. Well, I did the tune-up, I did new wires, and I did a spark plugs, wires. At this point, I have a new distributor, new cap, new rotor. So I did a new AC Delco professional wires that are expensive, and AC Delco spark plugs. We still have the same issue. Okay, so at this point I had to move to the basic, and I started checking compression and leak down test. So I checked compression, and I believe there were like about 180 all the cylinders, and except the one we're having an issue, the number 1 was having 160, like 20 psi difference. And it was like, well, will this be enough to cause that misfire? While the number 4, the other cylinder was misfiring, it had like 15 pounds difference than all the rest, like 180 on the old cylinders, except number 1 and 4, the misfire cylinders. One was 20 and the other one was 50. So I did a running compression to check for a valve activity when they're opening and closing. If supposedly I was thinking, okay, maybe we may have a worn cam lobes. If that's the case, I will see, the valve timing to be retarded, to open late, because if they're worn, to push on the road, it will take more time. But I couldn't pick it up anything on the pressure transducer or anything like that. The leak down, I had a leak down on the number 1 like 15%, and the number 4 like 18%, and the other were like 7%. I was like, oh, this is too minimum, to check for a sealing issue. But I just got a glove and put it on the tailpipe, and it was started, like getting all like blowing up, getting air on the exhaust when I was doing cylinder 1 more. So I talked to one guy, he's a teacher. I was attending to his classes, and he worked for 20 years for GM, and he told me, all the kind of issues they had with this truck, like injectors issue for TSB, timing chain, crank position sensor, we got a chimp down one, and also the valve steam seal, the valve intake and exhaust valve, they left too small of clearance. So when the valve is going up and down, what happens is when they get hot temperature, they misfire, especially with those, they're going uphill, or people has a trailer pulling on the back. So they get too tight and the valve gets sticking and they get misfire. But this one wasn't the case on this one. So at this point I said, well, I don't know if I should do that. So I did injector balance test, and I couldn't really see a good difference to say, like injectors. But they had these injectors are electromechanical injectors, they call, which they need power command, and also they need pressure. And I think minimum pressure on these cylinders is like 50, I think. Under 50 they do not open because they are electromechanical. They need the electrical command and fuel pressure above that, and they have a lot of issue with those too, like they get sticky and misfire. So I told my brother we should update this, and maybe we got some lucky here and update this stuff. And I was telling him are you planning to keep the truck? Because this misfire is not an easy, and I don't like to be throwing parts just without duplicating the condition or finding out exactly what's wrong. So he told me, he wanted to keep the truck. So I started putting these parts, and I did the injectors, and nothing changed. Same thing. When I was checking for data on the scan tool, I was realizing, this total filtering were going on about 14 or 15%, going lean. And I was like, okay. But one thing, the misfire, we never felt that misfire while driving. Never. You will see the check engine light flashing, but you didn't feel that misfire at all. If I remove that bulb, nobody would realize this truck had a misfire. Okay, so then after the injectors, I was like, what we should do, what we should do. So I told my brother, I don't want to be throwing parts, and I don't know what's wrong. Really, I don't know. So I gave up on that one, and I didn't want to have him spending more money, and I was feeling bad, I couldn't duplicate, not getting to conclusion, and having spending money. So what we did is he found someone else, started working on it, and this guy said, oh, okay, yeah, we have TSB here, and I think he replaced the coil connector for the ignition coil connector. He also did timing change, because they got TSB for rattle timing change. So I said, well, it's about it, the TSB is there. The only bad thing is we only have for 2 cylinders and constant only on those 2. The timing chain rattle or messing up there, it will mess up with other cylinder. But I was like, well, I can't really give too much my opinion on it. And he did the timing chain, he did a crank position sensor, and he shimmed the crank position sensor. He put different shim sizes, and nothing helped. Only one thing, what we was hard to do it, and we couldn't do it, was do the crankshaft relearn with the bearers or with all those scan tools. We couldn't do the crankshaft relearn. That bothers me, because on these Chevys, all GM, after we do any repair with misfire, we have to do the crankshaft relearn, clear the coils, hard reset, and do a crankshaft relearn, and we couldn't. So I was borrowing one of my friends that Take Two, and with that one was doing it. That bothers me. I said, well, why we can't do it with other scan tool? So at this point, the next step was, this other guy gave up, and he told me, he was for smog. We needed a smog inspection done, and he needed the truck to be the check engine light off for that. So I told him, well, we may do that because of the leak down, and we may have to do a bulb job. I hope that do it. And I talked to the machine shop, and I said, okay, do a complete, nice, good, bulb job. And also I want you to open a little bit, like a couple thousands more on the bulb steam seal guide. So he did that. And also, I swapped the lifter from the cylinders that were in trouble to a non-good cylinder, and I keep tracking that, because I was thinking maybe the lifters, they got some issue, because these are like hydraulic lifters, and I said, well, they may have some issues. So I transferred to a different cylinder, and I keep tracking the push rod too, but nope. So after we did a head job, head cylinder, everything, same thing, nothing has changed. So in one of the classes I was taking here at the Skyline College here in San Bruno, close to San Francisco, I told the teacher, and he told me, bring her over, probably some electrical noise, and it's picking up by the crank position sensor, the cam sensor. So, and that's causing the computer is thinking, and it's thinking there is a misfire. So we checked for that one with the picoscope and all those kind of stuff. He said, no, there is no electrical noise. There is no like a cap and rotor. Again, he did it, and we didn't cylinder pressure transducer, and we couldn't do any conclusion, something like definitive. So at this point, I was like, who knows, we may need to do an update, flash the computer, because we don't feel the misfire. I'm having issues with relearning the crank position sensor, and so maybe it's the computer is bad. So I'm talking about this like this every 2 years we do here the smog inspection. So this one was the second time, and at that time we could trick the computer still, because we had to clear the monitors, go for a test drive, have those, you know, and sometimes the check engine light was off when it was idle, so we were waiting for that, and boom, go for a smog, you know. But I decided to get a new computer, brand new computer, send it for reprogramming, and the guy called me from GM and said, hey, I programmed the computer, well, why did you replace that one? I said, well, I got misfires, and he told me, yeah, the misfires show up already after we programmed the computer. And I said, oh, you guys did a crankshaft relearn? He said, yeah, we did it. And he told me, do you want me to do a diagnostic for you? And I said, well, I'm an automotive technician, and probably if you can find what's wrong, I will, you know, but I have done a lot of parts. And he told me, well, you know, you got TSB on the ejector? And I said, I did it, and I did L5, and I told him all genuine parts. And he was like, okay, I don't know, man, I don't know. So then here we are. At this point, you know, only in my mind is worn lobes or the cams, but I cannot prove it, and there is a lot of work. So any suggestion for someone will be good, you know, from those non-good people. So now I'm gonna move to provide some tests. I'm gonna be doing like a volumeric efficiency test. I will be doing that one also to show, you know, for that one, for some people who knows that test. For me, I haven't find, you know, like a good answer where to go, where to move for that, but someone may. So I'll do that test, and I'll post it there. I'll also do the compression test on each bank to compare in between one cylinder and another one. And I also will do a cranking compression and a running compression. And so maybe someone who's like a high-tech, have been here before, can pick it up something on that data that I'm not able to, and I'm requesting for help on this because it's time for a smog in 2 months. And after we updated the computer, the check engine light never goes off. Now it's all the time on. So we need to fix this one before taking it to the smog machine. So any help will be appreciated. I know this is gonna be a long video because it's a lot, but it will be a good learning experience probably for everybody. Okay, we have here the distributors, the new one and the old one. You can see the teeth are halfway eating on that one. Okay, we have here a 2000 Chevy Silverado, and we can see what's going on here. That's the problem. Okay. So we're gonna ID here the vehicle. Pin W is the one we have. So this is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Engine, yeah, it does have air pump. Heater O2 sensor. Well, this is our new secondary air injection system, are new too. evap fuel. We'll be attacking today the P0300. fuel level sending unit circuit high. So we got a bunch of codes, but the one we have been dealing for a while is the 300. And that's the one I'm gonna be addressing right now. We have to fix the other one, but I'm gonna be focused on that one. Failed its ignition. History cause. Okay. So what happened is this misfire is occurring only this misfire is occurring in between. I'm gonna customize this to select all. I'm gonna see that we don't feel the misfire on this truck. Basically driving it, we don't feel any misfire. Okay, but we can see here on history on cylinder 1 it has a 13,715. There are two cylinders, 1 and 4. Okay, 4 has more, 36. Let's see the firing order on this truck. Which one is check the firing order of this truck. 4.3 BMW. Okay, ignition system, ignition test, component information. The top right side of engine firing order is 15643. Okay, the cylinder had the most misfires. Cylinder first is on the left bank, driver's side. Let me check here. The one I have the most on 1 and 4, I believe. 4 and 1. Yes. Are there in firing order? That is 1 and 4. 1 and 4, no, they are not. You can see here they are not close to each other. And one is on one bank and the other one is on the other bank. Okay. Okay. And as we can see, cylinder 1 right now is not misfiring at this RPM here. Cylinder 1 and 4. Cylinder 1 and 4, and down here is gonna be RPMs. Look at this, what happened. Cylinder 1 barely got some misfire. And I am about 700 RPM. When I go about like 800 off idle a little bit, see the number 4 misfiring right now. But if we see here, you know, right here about 900 RPM, like right there, it does a lot of misfire too on the number 1, about 1000 RPM. About 1500 RPM. About 2800, stop counting the misfire because it's the strategy here of the computer, you know, they don't want to. Yeah, like right there we don't see anymore, but I think it's the most is 2800. The computer, you know, after 2800 RPM, the computer disables, you know, the misfire because of the speed of the crankshaft. but during driving we don't feel at all. We have never feel a misfire. We just see the check engine light flashing. And now we can check let me see if we can check here of a fuel trim data. Fuel trim. Not here. I don't have fuel trim. Okay, we're gonna check a fuel trim. We're gonna see what happened. Sensor data, I think it's here. Probably I'll have it here, I think. Custom, deselect old, engine speed, loop status. Oh, I got the O2 sensors. I wanted to have the fuel trim. Let me go back here. Short term in percentage. Okay, so we can see here fuel trim, short term and long term are good, but when I'm increasing the RPM, they go lean. Well, not right now. I remember I have seen that before. We're in closed loop? Yeah, we are in closed loop. Yes, we are in closed loop. I'll drive it on the road a little bit here. And find out here. Okay, I'm cruising around right now here. Okay, let me stop this. Let me see the max of fuel trim I got. Fuel trim. Yeah, as we can see, the fuel trim is not that bad, you know. Bank 2, 10, and on this one on short term we went to about 9 max. So I don't know if both were at the same time. Will be total of 19 there, and right here will be on bank 1, 12 and 9. It's about the same, about 20. Okay, we're gonna perform a different test right now. Gonna do a what they call a volumeric efficiency. I hope I got all the data I need here on this package, because they have a package of data. Deselect all. I need RPM. I'll throw that throttle position sensor. Yes, we don't need it for this test. We don't need it, but we need RPM. We need a intake, air temperature. We need MAF gram per second, and we need I wanted to see the engine load, if it has it, if this one has it here. I wanted to compare the engine load. I hope I got it here. Put that one, vehicle speed, but we don't need it for this test. Cam retarder, I wanted to see how that one is used to timing, but it's not really needed for this test. I'm gonna be about to perform. Oh, engine load. What? Okay, here. Okay. Got the data I need here. Okay, what we're gonna do is now perform. What? Intake air temperature is -40. So there is an issue here. There is an issue here. It's not gonna help me, that one. Why is that one 40? -40, you see. Nah, it's not gonna help me that one. For this test I'm gonna be doing, well, engine load, RPM, intake air temperature. Well, I'll tell some intake temperature. It's just gonna be today about 90%, where 90 degrees Fahrenheit where I am. But I'll perform this test right now. First gear, and I will start here. Okay, we got like a straight road here. Wide open throttle right now. Wide open throttle. Okay, and we're gonna review this data here. When I get here to the spot where I can review this data. I just need to get to a place where I can park and review data here. Probably over here. I will park here and gonna review the data I have here. Okay. Okay, let me stop this first. Let me see the max of RPM we had, and we need a gram per second. Max is 157. Still engine load. This one said it did 192%. I wanted to compare this one to whatever they're saying on the BE calculator. Intake, you know, we have a bad intake air temp for the air intake. So math gram per second. Vehicle speed is not important for this, but I'm gonna input this information here on the scan tool. Voltage. Okay. Take a picture of this. It's gotta be calculator here from online from OTC, and EIT. Gonna tell it is at 90 because oops, we didn't do it. RPM, the max RPM we archive here was 5229. Okay, grams per second, 157, 89.89. The engine size 4.3, go. Okay, so I'm down here with this. RPM, gram per second, 4.3. Balumeric efficiency, 58%. Is that good? Is that bad? Here some testing. So we're gonna go through these an acceptable range is between 75 to 90%. Okay. we're gonna move to the next test and figure out. Checking here on Google, I'm checking here the firing order to identify cylinder number 1 seems to be the left driver's side on number 1, and number 4, the one we have the misfire, is on the center passenger side. So we're gonna be checking running compression on these 2 cylinders and gonna figure out what's going on here. Okay, we're gonna start with normal compression here. We got the compression gauge here hooked up already to cylinder number 1, and we're gonna start doing a normal compression. The spark plug is here connected. I mean the spark. I got it to spark tester to let the spark go somewhere, and then I'm gonna do a normal compression first, and then running compression, and then later the scope. So I will come here, have the vehicle to go, the gas pedal, wide open throttle here before doing the key. That way the vehicle doesn't start. Okay, we're gonna record that. Gonna record this. Some about 155. Yeah, 155. 155. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna start the engine. We're gonna do a running compression. Have about 50, 70. It's 75 is the max. Yeah, 70. Running compression is 70, so we're gonna be comparing this to another one. Okay, I'm gonna crank it right now here. Cylinder number 1. Okay, stop this. Let me go back and see what happened here. We're going to grab this a little quickly. I just wanted to, because I won't be analyzing this data here with too much detail, because I will be doing this at home, since the light and everything, I don't like it here. So, but kind of quickly we'll go here and see on cranking what we have. Okay, let me take this one out of here, the picture. Okay, so we're gonna analyze this data at home, but let me just kind of quickly see where this how much is the max that one was reading comparing to the other one. Well, this one is reading about 139, 140 psi max, which is fine. You know, I have realized all the time with a pressure transducer, they always read less than really cranking compression, because you know they don't have a shredder bulb on it, and normally, you know, that's is what happened. I have seen that too many times, but we're gonna compare, you know, each with another one. So this is the cylinder number 1, cranking compression. I'll save this one, and we'll go for the running compression. cylinder 1, cranking, okay, save it, and I'm gonna go to the running compression. Okay, we'll save that one. And now we're gonna do the running compression. See the shade, how bad it is, something here, the glare. So I will run it now, and we will check the running. Okay. Let me remove the zoom. It's zoomed right now, so I gotta take the zoom. Just picking up some signal there from the ignition. Okay, let that one stabilize the most we can. Okay, we can stop it now and analyze this data. Okay, turn it off the engine, and then let me get 3 of these at least. Oh, get it, I got glove on my hand, and I don't know, I'm not grabbing it. For some reason I can't grab it. Okay, we have here, you know, the running compression cylinder number 1, and we can see here the cursor here. This cursor here, right here, is at what? It's basically, you know, at 1.1. Where is that one? Oh, where is it? Let me see. Pull it up, please, a little bit. Yeah, you can see it's a 0. Basically, it's the 0. See, you see. Here is 1 psi. So it's basically no pressure here, 0. And the other, we are about 64 psi. Yeah, 64.6. So 64 running on this one, and 150, 145 or something, I think, on the cranking. So we're gonna compare this one with the other ones, and supposedly here, you know, what we're looking at here is the compression peak here. So this will be a compression stroke here. Intake at this point is not intake compression. I mean like power compression here. This is no power right now because, you know, the spark plug is out, so the piston is dragging in here, so that is why it creates a vacuum here, pocket. And then exhaust, intake, and compression, and goes on and on like that. So let me just see something here. Supposedly the intake and the exhaust valve should pull the same amount of vacuum, you know. And let me see, that is the case here. Pretty much they are very even here. See it on the bottom. Okay, gonna move to the next test on the next cylinder to compare. Be analyzing here the differences in between non-good cylinder and a bad cylinder. So this one is cylinder number 2, which is a non-good cylinder with no misfire at all. So I have the cursor here. We can see here the in degrees, 4 partition here, like 4 strokes, you know, 1 complete revolution here of 2 revolution of the crankshaft per 1 of the cam. So we're here a peak compression here on top,
0 degrees, and then 180. We can see when the exhaust valve open here, around here. So you open here, well, a 180. We have one partition here, and another 180 and 180, like that. So we're just gonna compare this one to a non-good one and see what is the differences. This is cylinder 2. Basically, we're looking at the peak compression, which was on this one 70, about 74 um, compression, peak compression. This is running idle. Both are preparing under the same condition, same RPM. So this is not bad. So this one gave me what, 74? Oh no, this one the non-good cylinder, number 2. I'm gonna compare it to the worst cylinder, number 4 now. Okay, 74 max, and no back pressure here. We can see here. Basically, we have 0 back pressure here on this area here where exhaust valve open is open from here to here. Some place here started opening the valve like from here to here, fully open. This is when it's open, closes, and the intake valve opens here, and like kind of over here, exhaust valve closes and start building up the compression again. Okay, so see this is number 4, the one we have a lot of like a misfire count. So that one was 74 peak compression, while this one is like about 63, 64. So like 10 differences in compression, and some characteristic here on the, I can see here this repetitive, like they repeat again here. I was looking at those, and got a 0 line here again, and the valves are opening pretty much at the same time here. We can see here when it ends up open, comparing, see, same spot. The exhaust pack probably looks a little bit different because it's the zoom out I have. It's a little bit different. Cylinder 2, cylinder 4, bad cylinder, good. And I can see, right here, intake is opening pretty much at the same time. It's just right here, the characteristics a little bit different. Cylinder 4, after the intake valve complete stop opening. But other than that, I don't see any really a good differences. Why this one should, like be having the misfire based on this compression. I know it's a little bit different compressions, like 60-10 psi running compression, and I believe cranky compression I have to just go over on that one because I think the cranky compression was, I don't remember, so to compare those. But this is what it is here, what I have here. So that one, bad cylinder, misfires, a non-misfire cylinder, not good. Cannot make any call based on this data here at all, myself. Maybe someone could, but not me. I'm gonna check the cranky compression here right now. I mean, like, yeah, cranky compression. I compare. I just have a piece of paper where I wrote those.
Cylinder 1, it's not focused. This is okay right here. Oops, I don't know why this doesn't focus. Cylinder 1, running idle. I'll do a wide open throttle and then release. I'll wait for the next screen. Okay, boom, wide open throttle, release. Normally, let me start it when this one is idle. I'm gonna analyze this data later. Okay, now I'm gonna go for cylinder number 5. Okay, to compare. We'll crank it and we'll see how much is the differences in compression. This cylinder, we don't have any issue with any misfire data at all. And I didn't like that one, like I wanted to start. So that happens sometimes with the clear flag mode I'm doing right now when we press on the gas pedal, you know. But it's showing me about what 175. I will redo it. I didn't like the way, you know, like you wanted to start. It gave me a little bit more compression. But let me retry again. Wide open throttle, key off. Now I like it. This reading, I like it. So this one is what? Number 5. Yeah, still the same one. 50, 60, 75. 175, okay? On cranking compression, cylinder number 5. Now we're doing the running compression with a regular compression tester and running compression to check the ability for the valve opening and closing. 70. I'm just draining it here. Yeah, 70 is the max, you know, we can argue. So we're gonna write it down this with the running compression too. Yeah, 65. Okay, we're gonna start now with the cylinder number 4, cranking compression, the one we're having the other misfire. It's the center cylinder on the passenger side. Do a wide open throttle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Static compression with the normal compression tester, and you got on this one the compression, you know, 180, 50, 60, yeah, 180 static compression. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go to a running compression. Let's see how much we have here now on the running compression. 70. That one and move. Okay, now I'm gonna do the cranking compression of cylinder number 4, static. Okay, enough. Stop this data. I think we're gonna be analyzing this data later because it's kind of hard here to do it with the. It's very hard over here. So, but let's see the max. This one, 162. Suppose what is that? See the peak compression, 162. See, and I think we're about 0 here. No back pressure. Yeah, we can see here too. Checking here. Probably this is my 0. Okay, so this is cranking. We're gonna go for running compression now. Let's go here. Let's do unstabilize, and I'm zoom right now. Let me take the zoom out here. Okay, and stabilize and stop this data. This is the running compression. So supposedly one of the details we're looking with a running compression, we can see where they buried the zero here, no back pressure. On this area we can see when plug catalytic converters we have here. This one is pretty good, no back pressure. And the other one, in-cylinder pressure transducer, is to see how much is pulling into a vacuum or the pocket on the exhaust. They are pretty even. And the other one is how much compression we got. Peak compression we got 65 here. You can see that here, 65, and pretty nice, you know, like opening and closing of the bulbs. I'm not checking right now for timing of the bulbs, you know, but compression is not that bad. We can analyze this one better on the computer probably. So let me save this one and then we'll move on. Cranking on cylinder number 2, regular compression tester. Okay, this is a good cylinder. We don't have any misfire data history on this cylinder. Okay, it's about 185. Okay, cylinder number 2, running compression. 70, 75. Okay, we're gonna perform the cranking compression here. Cylinder number 2, non-good cylinder for compression. You want it to start. Okay, let me stop this data here. We're gonna analyze this. Okay. Okay. Max based on this one about 160, 152. I mean, yeah, 153. I don't like that, you know. Shoot, I'm gonna analyze this on the computer, but I cannot make a good call about this one here. Can analyze this on the computer, and let's move to save it, and next move to the next one.